Hey, you guys. I wanted to come on here and talk about just how important the way we see ourselves really is and how much it affects our lives. I'm Brittany Cano with Holistic Nurse Coaches. I am a holistic life coach. So, I can't believe I'm doing this video at this hour. I know it's only going on 8 p.m., but that is really late for me to be doing a video. If you know me, you know I typically like to have my feet kicked up and relax, but it just so happened that tonight my husband's at a meeting. I actually took an IV call this evening, and I decided I wanted to share this video with you. So I want to just take you back a little bit, 12 years ago, to where I was and why this is just something that's so important, how we see ourselves. 12 years ago, I really had low self-worth. I did not think very highly of myself. I would have told you that I felt very confident in myself, and I would have told you that I had a lot of self-esteem at the time. But if you would peel back the layers and really get to how I was feeling about myself, the actions I was taking in my life, it was really clear that I just did not feel good about myself. So our identity has such a huge impact on how we perceive our life. We see and experience life through these filters, and the way we feel about ourselves, who we say we are, really influences that, and it dictates our actions. For example, if you think you're somebody who can't exercise, or if you feel like you're somebody who just always dates crappy people, or you're really bad with money, chances are that that's going to continue to be the trajectory that you're on, right? Those beliefs really influence our actions. Whereas if I start to see myself as somebody who's really good with money, I choose men who really care about me, who respect me, then that changes my actions as well. Let me tell you, before I started on my healing journey, the guys that I dated were less than ideal partners. Let's just say that. And when I began really working on my stuff and letting go of shame, changing my habits, all of those things, I realized that there was a reason why I was choosing people that were not ideal partners. And a lot of it had to do with how I truly felt about myself, how I truly saw myself. And I took a good year or so to really get clear on my self value, my worth, like really own that, and get really clear on who I wanted for a partner. What kind of woman was I going to be, and what kind of man did I want to attract in my life? And fast forward, then I met my husband like less than a year later, and we're happily married. But had I kept in that same identity of I date really crappy guys, I suck in relationships, there's always drama, I just date guys for fun, but it's never really going to be long term, I would continue to get that. Same thing with money. There was a time where I thought, no way could I ever make more money than I make at the hospital. Like, how could I do that in my business? That just couldn't happen. And I worked with my coach at the time, and she was like, "Why are you waiting?" I'm like, "Well, I have to wait. I just started my business. There's no way I can charge more as a coach than I charge as a nurse." She's like, "Why not?" I'm like, well, because, right? Again, what are these stories? What are these filters? What are these limiting beliefs that we have, and are they supporting us? So I said, you know what? That's a really good question. It's not true with a capital T. And so from that point on, I went on to make a lot more money in my coaching practice than I was making as a nurse at the time. So I want you to just take a moment and reflect. How is your identity influencing your actions? I'm sure in many ways, who you say you are, loyal, kind, generous, smart, uh, motivated, all of those things that you say you are really having a positive influence in your life. And there's also some things that they're not working anymore. That's just the way I am, as though it's a permanent condition. And I'm here to really invite you to explore. Is that absolutely true with a capital T? So the next thing is, we kind of are like self-fulfilling prophecies in a lot of ways. Like, who we say we are can really create our reality. So again, if I say I am someone who does what she says she's going to do, I have a really strong practice of taking care of myself, and I really believe that, I work on building that belief in myself, I'm going to align my actions so that that is the truth for me. Whereas if I say, I'm so busy, I'm just so busy, I don't have enough time, I'll get to it when the kids graduate, I'll get to it when I get through this degree, I'm just so busy, I can't possibly take the time to fill in the blank. Take a day off, get enough sleep, really take care of my health, right? We start to create that reality. Again, we're such powerful creators. So I just want to remind you, you are super powerful creators. And then some questions to reflect on. Again, how do you describe yourself? And we don't want to get rid of or shame the parts of us that maybe are not effective, but it's something to look at. And it's also a place to ask yourself what's working and what's not working, right? Keep it objective there. Not like what's bad, what's wrong, what's good, what's right. We don't want to do any of that. It's like more of the same, right? But really just like what's working for me and what's not working for me. And then what are the beliefs that you have about yourself? Are they empowering? Are they limiting? And then where in your life do you feel stuck? Maybe you're dating another person who just isn't cutting it. There's this saying, trying to buy eggs at the hardware store. So can't tell you how many times in my life I have tried to buy eggs at the hardware store. And so this is something that I just keep on my radar now. And if that resonates with you, I want to invite you, keep it on your radar. Wait, am I just trying to come buy eggs at the hardware store? Whether it's like the same dynamic in a family relationship. They're the way they've been since the since the crack of dawn, since the whole entire time you've known them. And yet for whatever reason, I would try to just expect a different outcome, right? Insanity. I was trying to buy eggs at the hardware store. There are no eggs at that hardware store. There's not even any eggs at Publix, right? Hardly anymore. We can do that in relationships. Oh, this guy's going to come around. Oh, I think he really is the one. But yet maybe he's not available, or he's lying, or his stories aren't adding up, or he's very controlling, or he's been abusive a few times. The things are not equating. We can relate this to even how we engage with food. I can't tell you how many times in my life I was trying to fulfill an emotional, a spiritual void, an emotional, spiritual wound through eating food, right? It gives a band-aid, but I'm trying to buy eggs from a hardware store. There's no fruit there. It's not really going to get me where I truly want to be. And so looking at your life, where are you trying to buy eggs from a hardware store? And this can be a really, a really, really big realization. Like I said, when I began this healing journey 12 years ago, and one of my coaches it was in a group coaching setting, said, you say you want a 10 relationship, and yet are you living your 10 life? And at the time, I was not living my 10 life. I was not living my best life. I was not respecting myself. And yet here I thought that I was entitled to a 10 relationship. And when I heard that, it just like hit me like a ton of bricks, but it was what I needed to hear. So exploring, bringing curiosity. Where in your life are you trying to buy eggs from a hardware store? And as we begin to heal, right, as we begin to integrate, as we begin to come whole with our all parts of ourselves, knowing that it can be gentle, knowing that it doesn't have to be like ripping the freaking band-aid off in one swipe and leaving a big old gushing wound. Sorry, I'm a nurse. But it can be very gentle. So if you're in a relationship that you're like, oof, yeah, this is not working. And I've been seeing myself as a woman who makes really crappy choices with men, and I'm tired of that. Maybe it will be a quick 360, but for a lot of us, it's going to be it's a process. It's a integrating. It's a meeting our nervous system where it's at and getting the support that we need. And again, being gentle and compassionate with ourselves. If you are Telling yourself you're horrible with money. I am somebody, I'm always broke, or I spend the money, I can't keep a hold of money. What is it, like burn through the pocket? What's that saying? It burns my pocket up. I don't know. That's not the saying. See, this is why I don't do videos at night. Then shifting that, right? Shifting that identity gradually but consistently. And how do we do that? Many, many years we've probably had some of the identities that we've had of ourselves, and the ones that are not working for us, that are no longer serving us, are going to require consistency. It's going to require continuing to show up, continuing to look for evidence that who this is that you're becoming, this other part of you, again, it's not a better part of you or a good part of you. It's just another aspect of you that maybe is supporting your higher self, looking for evidence that that is also true. Does that make sense? So if I'm saying I'm somebody who I really take good care of myself, I unconditionally love myself, I have my own back, I'm going to start to build that belief. I'm going to journal on that maybe every morning and really work through whatever's coming up for me. I'm going to start to peel back the layers and notice what thoughts are getting in the way. Maybe when did those thoughts happen? Why do I believe that? If you want to do that work, you can do that work, or you can just, really build that new belief. Then I'm going to start to look for evidence that, oh, it is true. I do prioritize myself. Exactly. I got up today. I went for a walk. I really did not want to say yes to that thing, so I didn't. I really was in tune with what was going on in my body, and I was aware of my intuition. We're going to start really taking note of all of the ways that we trust ourselves, all of the ways that we love ourselves, all of the way that we have our own back. Is that making sense? And we want to keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that, and then before we know it, that's our new identity. So please let me know, what are you calling for? Who are you becoming right now in this journey that you're on? So much of the time we set a goal, we're going for these results. This is what we're working towards. And so much juiciness is in that journey, right? Is in that process of what we learn, how we grow, how we heal, on the way to the goal, right? Because the goal is always moving. The goal is always going to be something else. And also, I'll leave you with this, just knowing that those things that we're looking for in life, like, we have that access, we have that accessible within us. So much of the time we can think that scaling our coaching business, having the beautiful relationship with a partner, being in the best shape of our life, that is the answer. And while there's something to be said about the people in our lives, about aspiring to what it is that's important to us, what really creates that is from within us. So you're the magic. You're amazing. I hope you have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and feel free to share the video. Have any questions? Drop them below. Talk to you soon.